All right, today we're going to get into the brilliant work of James Clear, who's an absolute master of behavioral change. We're going to figure out the real science behind building good habits and, just as importantly, breaking the bad ones. And here's the big secret. It has almost nothing to do with willpower. Seriously, it's all about having a system that actually works.
I mean, we've all been there, right? It's the new year, or even just a Monday, and you're fired up. You're going to go to the gym. You're going to eat healthier. You're going to learn that new skill. And then, well, life happens. And before you know it, you're right back where you started wondering what on earth went wrong.
And here's the first huge takeaway from Clear's work, and I really want you to hear this. If you've struggled to make your habits stick, it's not because you're lazy or you lack discipline. Just let that sink in for a minute. You are not the problem.
The real culprit is the approach, the method you're using. And this right here is a line you should probably write down. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So you see, the key isn't to just try harder, it's about building a smarter system.
Okay, so let's dive right into this first big idea, what I like to call the willpower trap. This is that classic belief that if we just pushed ourselves harder, if we just had more grit, we'd finally succeed. But you know what? That's just not how our brains are wired.
So naturally, we end up blaming ourselves for not having enough willpower. But Clear puts it this way. Relying on motivation is like trying to cross an ocean in a little rowboat. Sure, it might work for a bit if the weather's perfect, but it's a totally unreliable strategy for the long journey. The real problem is that our environment and our entire approach are actually working against us.
So, if willpower is not the answer, then what is? Well, this leads us to a massive shift in thinking, one that honestly changes everything. Instead of focusing on what you want to achieve, you have to start with who you want to become.
And this is the absolute core of what we call identity-based habits. See, the goal isn't just to run, it's to become a runner. The goal isn't just to write a book, it's to become a writer. This is so much more powerful, because at the end of the day, true behavior change is identity change.
This simple switch reframes the whole game. An outcome-based goal, like, say, running a marathon, is temporary. You cross the finish line, and then what? But an identity-based goal, I am a runner, that guides your choices long after the race is over. It's about embodying the characteristics of that kind of person day in and day out.
Now, this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do we actually build the habits that reinforce this new identity we want? Well, that's where James Clear's incredibly practical framework comes in, the 4 laws of behavior change.
These 4 laws, they're like a simple, powerful toolkit that you can apply to literally any habit you want to build. Think of them as levers you can pull to make good habits almost inevitable and, on the flip side, make bad habits basically impossible. Let's break them down. First up, make it obvious. You want the cue to start your habit to be totally unmissable. You want to practice guitar more? Don't hide it in a case in the back of your closet. Put it on a stand right in the middle of your living room. You want to design your environment so it's constantly nudging you in the right direction.
Second, make it attractive. This is all about linking a habit you need to do with something you already want to do. For example, you only get to listen to your favorite true crime podcast while you're on your daily walk. Pretty soon, you'll actually start to crave the walk because you associate it with something you already love.
Law number 3, make it easy. You have to reduce the effort, the friction between you and the habit. It's simple. The more steps it takes, the less likely you are to do it. Want to hit the gym in the morning? Lay out your workout clothes the night before. Make starting so ridiculously simple that you can't talk yourself out of it.
And finally, number 4, make it satisfying. Our brains are hardwired for immediate gratification, so a habit needs to feel like a win right away. It could be something as small as putting a big red X on a calendar after you do it. That gives you that little satisfying hit of dopamine that makes your brain go, hey, let's do that again tomorrow.
And what's so great about this is that the whole framework works perfectly in reverse. To break a bad habit, you just flip the laws. You want to stop mindlessly scrolling on your phone at night? Make it invisible and difficult by leaving your phone to charge in a different room. You add friction. You make the junk food invisible by hiding it. You make smoking unattractive by focusing on the consequences. It's all about dismantling the systems that prop up your bad habit.
Okay, so building a great system doesn't mean you're suddenly perfect. Life gets in the way. It happens to everyone. So what do you do when you inevitably slip up? It is absolutely crucial to have a plan for your bad days because, believe me, they will happen. This might be one of the most powerful ideas in all of Clear's work. Anyone can have a bad workout. Anyone can have an unproductive day.
That stuff doesn't separate the successful from the unsuccessful. The real difference is that the pros get back on track right away. One mistake, that's an accident. But 2 in a row, that's the start of a new, unwanted habit.
So the key takeaway here is this. Your plan for failure is every bit as important as your plan for success. The second you slip up, practice self-compassion, not self-sabotage. Instead of that voice in your head that says, well, I blew it, might as well give up, you just have to say, okay, that happened. My very next action will get me back on track. It's all about consistency, not perfection.
And all of this circles back to the most important idea of all. This system isn't just about checklists and life hacks. No, it's about fundamentally rewiring how you see yourself, one tiny little action at a time.
Think about it like this. Every single time you choose to do your new habit, no matter how small it seems, you are casting a vote for the type of person you want to become. One workout is a vote for, I'm a healthy person. Writing just one page is a vote for, I'm a writer. These small wins are like little pieces of evidence that you show your own brain to prove that, yeah, you really are changing.
And this is where the real magic happens, folks. This is the concept of atomic habits. These tiny 1% improvements. They seem totally insignificant from one day to the next. But over the course of a year, getting just 1% better each day leads to a result that is nearly 38 times better. Small habits don't just add up, they compound into incredible results.
So I'll just leave you with this one question. When you think about the person you really want to be, what is the smallest, easiest, most obvious action you can take today? What single vote can you cast for that future you right now?